Oh, it's telling me not to hold on with that. All right, so we are doing the Sacred Forest reading today for all signs. Keep pulling all of you guys a few cards to tell a little bit about your story or some inspiration on, this. I was just pre-shuffling and this was the card that came out, and this is the Mystical Meadow Sanctuary. So this is like creating your own sanctuary. And I also said this reminds me of Easter. There's the peace lily right there. I have one. And there's a fox. And we got the bear, came out of its slumber. We got the bunny right there. And she looks like a psychic bunny, right? So maybe for some of you, you are creating your little sanctuary. And maybe there's a bear that coming out of its slumber finally. You know what I mean? So everything is clear in the circle. You know what I mean? Everything around you may be in chaos and and confusion, but everything around you is clear as a day, and you can see it clearly. All right, that was the pre-shuffle, right? Oh, look at that! That reminds me of like the Sleeping Beauty, right? The dragon comes and like puts life into her again. Like dragon power. All right, so you guys ready for this reading? I am. So the angels today are, well, let's just turn this around and I'll just show my face. Hey Fry, how's it going? How is it going? Do you guys like the shorts that I've been doing? Like I've been doing short videos for all the signs, like individually. So I'm really excited about doing a card every day for each sign. And so the first batch I did, it did really well. I got like 3,000 views overnight. Over 3,000 views overnight, whatever. And then I did the next day, I did the crystal message, and every day is going to be a new message. So make sure you go watch that. I did that yesterday. So I'm just going to take a little break before putting in more short videos up so that everybody can go check out their crystal message so it doesn't get stuck in the, in um, the algorithm, what do you call it? Um, Junkyard. All right, so we got our rose court here. Our hearts are open. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And we also got our amethyst. I still want to go to my that amethyst mine that's in Saint Catherine. No, Thunder Bay. Thunder Bay has one. All right, so we have Archangel Michael says, "Remember who you are. You are a powerful and loving, creative child of God. You are very loved." And relationship harmony. Archangel Rahul. We angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts will be resolved. And go back to that card that first pulled. The sanctuary card, because nothing can really. Things can go on outside of you, but it doesn't affect you inside your sanctuary, right? And so somebody may finally realize that it's safe to go wake up Sleeping Beauty to put some power in her. All right, so I picked up two cards. Okay, so it says it has gifts from God. Archangel Santa Paul. We angels are bringing you gifts from your Creator. Open your arms to receive. So this is it's gonna be something that's gonna make your heart very happy. And then we have you know what to do, Archangel Uriel. Trust in your inner knowledge. Act upon it without delay. Shine the light. If you have some information that could clear up some stuff, clear up some energy, you could bring some information around. Ask Archangel Jovial to help you get rid of clutter or even in your mind, right? So that you can have that sanctuary. And it says that you know what to do. You are overcoming difficulties, Archangel Jeremiah. You are, the worst is now behind you, and you are surmounting any previous challenges. All right. So you're overcoming some difficulties. You're learning to take back your power. right? You're learning to take back your power. Archangel Raziel, use your God-given power and intentions to manifest blessings in your life. You're learning that to take, not to give others your power. You know, sometimes people will come and gaslight you to start a fight with you. You know what I mean? It's just to drain your energy. Just got to cut them off at that moment. You know, you got your shit to do. They're trying to slow you down, okay? So when that happens, it could be someone you love. You know what I mean? They're trying to slow you down. Don't let them. All right, clear sentience. Archangel Rahul, notice the recurring physical and emotional feelings as they say they are signifying divine guidance. So when you're feeling these things, um, you know, sometimes it could be going through something physical. It's because you haven't dealt with something too. You know, it could come in a form of physical, right? So review your life as well. And it says patience, Archangel Jovial. Your dreams are blooming more rapidly than you realize, daily need nurturing and patience. You always got to remember. And then we got counselor. So you could be a counselor or you could benefit from getting a counselor. Archangel Raziel. Use your you are a natural counselor and many people benefit from your reassurance and guidance, right? So that's what I'm here for as well, to help you reassure and guide you guys, because you are all worth it, you know. You are all worth it. You humans. We're humans. We have to save the human race. Hello everybody. Thank you so much for being here. And if I don't say hi, Will is in the chat. He will say hi to all you guys. I am going to be focused on intuitively reading into the cards today. So we are just going to go through it really quickly for all the signs, and then, you know, later you guys can watch it as a whole form, you know, if you want, because I'm not going to timestamp these ones. Well, maybe I will. Maybe I will. Do I have a pen here? Yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do, Will. Okay, we will. That's better, because then everybody has time to go watch theirs. You know what I mean? Let's do that. Let's timestamp it, and we'll start with Aries. Yeah, make sure you check out your crystal message and also your abundance message that I just did. And those are short. It's in the shorts folder. So the shorts folder is going to be daily. So make sure you keep your eye open for the short messages that, you know, you have time to listen to every day, so that can guide you and the right directions in your life that you are focused on. Because, you know, you are your own magician, right? It's really easy to just like to kind of like lose ourselves in negative energy when we're going through something, but we have to like pick ourselves back up and not give up and keep on going, right? So that's what I'm doing as well. And I am also surmounting any previous challenges and stuff like that as well. You know, I'm still like, you know, having to pay for the cremation for my dog, and I made my first payment today. So um, hoping to get her cremated as soon as possible, so that I can put that that worry behind me. Anyways, let's go. I did already burn some sweetgrass, and I did. I'm gonna make a video and see if you guys will think that's a good idea. I'm gonna make a video and teach everybody how to smudge and cleanse themselves and smudge yourselves of energy, of negative energy, and put positive energy into yourself. So I'm gonna make that video if you guys are interested. I was just showing my friend that was downstairs how I was doing it, and I was cleansing all parts of me with that while I was sitting there burning it, and I was telling her how to do that, you know, kind of showing her to do that. Anyways. So let's just start it with Aries at 9:13. 9:13. All right, let's see. Aries, what is the message from the Sacred Forest message for Aries? And we're just going to try to do one message. That way we can get through it quickly. So, wolf spirit and family. So, you know, wolf spirits, wolves, they are a pack, you know, family is their pack, you know what I mean? So you may be with your, you know, family, and knowing that your family is with you through the cold, and, you know, through the cold winter, you know, you're a pack, you know, you are a family, you have each other's back. And we'll do at the bottom of the deck we'll do at the bottom of the deck message. So guardian of the land and protection. So you could be a guardian, somebody that, your family, you're like the wolf pack, that protects the land. Um, that protects the animals and nature. Look at that. Look how beautiful. You could be someone that's a protector of the land, even an environmentalist, right? Somebody that cares about the world, right? And your family, know that your family is your pack through the cold and all the winters too. You know what I mean? You're still a pack. You're still a family through the winter. You're solid. Look up what wolf families are like. Packs. They're like they have each other's back, no matter what. And if they don't understand something, they ask the questions. Right? All right. Let's move into Taurus. Taurus is at 11:02. 11:02. And I almost stuttered. Maybe you guys have something that you want to say, but you're having a hard time. You're wanting, the 11:02, and the 2 can mean a lot of good things. Becoming in union with someone. Maybe you're having a hard time speaking it. All right, let's see. What is it? What does the sacred forest want to tell Taurus? Sacred forest for Taurus. Sun, Moon, rising, and Venus. All right. All right. You got the wild spirit. Or the willow spirit. Flexible. So this also reminds me of peace and harmony, being flexible. The willow spirit is very healing too. Also, the willow spirit is actually the willow tree is a pain reliever too. Like it can be used as a pain reliever. So, willow spirit is also the willow tree is very flexible. So is the spirit of the willow tree. It can be, near water and it can still drink the water even though it's not like directly the water because it's flexible. That's what it reminds me of. It can dive into its emotions as well. And then you got the wild rose fairy. Love. Love. So be flexible and be healing. Be healing and be flexible and love. The wild rose fairy. You could be dealing with someone that's almost like a fairy, like a wild rose. Nobody can tame them. Nobody can tame this rose. You could be someone that's a rose that can be tamed, very easily. But, maybe there needs to be some more flexibility that will bring you more peace, Taurus. You get the wild rose. All right, Gemini. I don't know who I'm connecting to, but leave me comments, guys. If it's you, if it sounds like your story, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. And we got Gemini at 1311. Look at that. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I appreciate the 6 likes already. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. JB's here too. All right. Oh, JL. Sorry, my eyes are bad. JL Petel? Did you change your name? Anyways, Geminis. All right, what's the message from the Sacred Forest for Geminis? What's the message for the Sacred Forest for Geminis? This is going to be quick messages, guys. So we're not going to be here that long. So stick around for all the signs. You can, you could have friends or family or whatever that you could, collaborate with when you hear the story about what could happen, positive things for your life. And if you interact with each other with those positive thoughts and affirmations, then you can make something happen there. All right, Gemini, we got the spirit of guardian of winter, retreat. So you may have been very retreated in the wintertime. You may have been putting yourself in a little, in your safe little spot, and we got the earth spirit of stability. So you may have just been really, while you retreated in the wintertime or whatever, you may have just really really created your little sanctuary, guardian of winter. In the wintertime you were guarding all the things that mattered to you. whether it is physical or mental, right? But you just stayed, warm in your little cozy cottage, right? And we have Earth Spirit here, stability. You just learned to be very stable in your energy, um, and smelling the flowers, and you were around all your beauty because you created here. You just enjoyed the beauty here, and she's even got green hair. That was a thought of mine at one time, but I was gonna do that. So that's what I got for Geminis. So for some of you, you could be going on a trip as well with some girls, like a girl trip, to like a healing retreat, like, like a pampering day type of thing. That's what I saw. All right. So we got Cancers at 1601. 1601. Cancers. All right. What's the message for you? Thank you, Will, for being here, and everybody. Thank you so much. And if you're just coming in, make sure you check out all the short videos I did, like the short messages that are like daily, daily short messages, but those aren't timeless because those are like different types, like chakra, basically, the crystal message with the angel message, affirmation message. And then we got the abundance message with how you can be abundant in your life. So those are very important messages for each zodiac sign. That's why I thought I would do it more like all zodiac signs individually, because everybody's dealing with different things. And yeah. And so the collective reading is also, I did the collective reading. So if you tap in to different parts of the collective reading, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. All right. Cancers. Intermission there was. Might as well make Cancers at 17 because we did all that talking in between. All right. We'll call it intro at 16. At 16 minutes was intro. All right. So Cancers, you have sacred spring success. Secret spring success. Secret brings success. Standing stone passage. So you may be planning something secretly. You're planning something, Cancers, and you're keeping it to yourself right now. You're planning something in the successful here in the spring, something that's going to be successful in the spring. You're not telling many people, because you are still like, learning to step on the right, path, going in the right path, making the right decisions. So you don't want any interference. So you're keeping it a secret. Even if you are becoming successful, you're not telling everybody. You know what I mean? You may be getting ready to shine the light on something for somebody here. What you see, the beauty that you see and where you've been already, the stepping stones that have gotten you there. And this has made you very grounded, Cancers. All right. So you're keeping something to yourself for now, but you're planning something that's going to be successful. And this could have to do with, heading somewhere, but you are just learning to know which way is the best way to go about it. All right. That's what I see. All right. Leos at 1902. Leo's 1902. All right. Leos, what does the sacred forest want to tell Leos? What does the sacred forest want to tell Leos? I was going to do it as an individual short videos, but I thought I haven't done a full live video where I actually say hi to you guys, so I thought I would do that today. All right. Leos, we got the forest temple, enlightenment. So, and we have stay, spirit, and leadership. So you could be someone that, your heart is like really lit up there, right? Or you could be dealing with someone like that. Their heart is lit up. This person or you could have a forest temple, like somewhere where they go and they speak about enlightenment and we're into it. You could be really connected in nature with your spirit, is what I'm getting. And your heart could open through that because you're finding your place where you can be really enlightened. You know what I mean? Where you can really, receive messages. And it's saying stay spirit and take leadership. So because you found this place where you can really tap in and really a lot of messages come to you, this is allowing you to stay and take leadership in something, okay? Something that you've been, something that may be very dear to you, you know what I mean? Dear to your spirit and your grounding and your heart, being more open, being more connected to your heart, being more connected to your spirit, and also being more grounded, feeling more grounded. See the red, the purple, and the green? And here again, a lot of green, and there's also her heart chakra is green, right? So you could learn something here. Enlightenment. All right, that's what I got, Leos. 2115 for Virgos. 2115 for Virgos. Miss Princess, can you listen to me? What do you You're new here? Well, welcome to my channel. All right. So like I said, Will is in the chat. He is talking to you. He's saying hi to everybody. And I am doing the reading. I'm tapping in. So I can't give you, if you want to order a private reading, everything is in the description of my channel. Okay. Right now, it's not personal readings. We're not doing personal readings right now. We're doing general readings. All right. This is for Virgos. 22. We're going to change Virgos because there was an interruption. 22. All right. 22. All right. Virgos. What does the sacred forest want to say to Virgos? Oh, I should have put my phone on Do Not Disturb. All right. Froggy spirit renewal, Virgo. The water spirit is manifesting dreams, and the froggy spirit is renewal, And so, I don't know, like, maybe touching a frog ain't a bad thing. It's like a lucky thing. It's like a renewed thing, It renews things. And also manifesting dreams in your water spirit. There's the udder. And also, you may be really connected to your spirit and through your emotions when you're like in water. You may really connect to your knowledge and your wisdom and be able to manifest your dreams in water, like being around water. And something about the frog spirit here. Something about the frog renewal. It's like a little king. You may have felt like a frog, and there's something here. Somebody here comes and touches you, and you feel renewed. That's what I'm getting. It's like you may feel like a little king and like a little frog king, but then somebody here comes to you, and helps you renew that spirit, that mindset you may have had, like you're a little frog spirit. Sorry, Virgos, but now you are learning how to really manifest your dreams through through water, or and you're more spiritual. Even maybe when you're realizing that when you're having a bath or shower, you have a lot of more intuitive messages that come to you. That's what I got for you. All right, Libras, 2439. 2439. Libras. All right, Libras. All right, what does the sacred forest messages for Libras? What is the sacred forest messages for Libras? What is the sacred forest messages for Libras? Alright, you have stray night acceptance. So, you know, the full moon we just had in Libra, right? We just had the full moon in Libra. And you may have been like, you may have been looking at the moon and really thinking about, you know, the spirit guardian of winter, like how you just retreat it and just really put yourself in a little bubble in the winter to really protect yourself. And you may be finally learning to like just really learn to accept things by just like letting it go to the full moon, just let the energy go with the moon, because the moon will dump it all out somewhere, and then you know, you don't have to deal with it anymore if you give it to the moon, right? So anyways, give some negative thoughts or anything that you may have made you feel stuck. Really release that negative. Well, I say negative, but it can also be stagnant energy. It can also be like, you know, like just feeling very sluggish and all that energy. Just letting it all go. Like anything that you don't, that doesn't serve you, it is not helping you. Let it go and just accept the things that you cannot change, you know, and then pray, you know, that everything that you want is coming true, because you know this is your full moon. um so you have, you know, it took a lot of courage to retreat and just really put yourself in a bubble, but you have like really learned to accept a lot of things that you may have not been able to do until you learn to retreat yourself, you know, to really, you know, in the wintertime you may have really retreated and really learned to feel who you were, you know what I mean? Really got to like, you know, almost like study yourself. All right. That's what I'm getting. All right. So Libras, and then we got Scorpio. Scorpio, S-C-O. All right. Scorpios. All right. What do we got? Oh, Scorpios are at 20, 27, 28. 27, 28. For Scorpios. All right, Scorpios, what does the Sacred Forest have to say to you? All right, what does the Sacred Forest want to speak to you about? All right, what is the messages for you for Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Venus? Sun, Rising, and Venus. All right, okay. So we got hummingbird joy, spirit of joy. I actually have two hummingbird feeders that I was going to set up, you know what I mean? So that could be a message for some of you Scorpios. So enchanted forest, Gatia, rough refuge. So, and then we have wise woman of the grove and grace. So, okay, so something that's going to make you feel very, like it's going to like spark a really grounded like energy in you, like really like spark some interest in you. You could be going into nature and really learning about like how enchanted a forest really is, and how like a forest has a lot of protection as well. And you know, you have to respect it for it to protect you, because you know our plants and then our trees and all, they are very alive, you know what I mean? They're spirits. All right, in the tree form, you know what I mean? So these could be like, you know, just spirits also taking care of the you know, you could be a spirit, somebody that loves to take care uh of beautiful things like in nature, and really you are somebody that's very enchanted. You are somebody that can enchant everything, you know, you can make everything magical is what I'm seeing. And you have a grace about you, you know, you have this grace about you. You're wise. You could also learn something from a wise woman, you know, somebody could be living in the, they could be like, you know, like a medicine woman, like somebody that lives in the, like in the woods. All right. That's what I got for you. That was a strange message, but all right. Saggies. Saggies are at 29.54. 29.54. 54. Who's still here? You guys all leave, Will? What y'all doing? I don't know where my auto moderators are, but I have a few other ones, but they may have not gotten the notifications. It's so funny because there's places I moderate, and I don't ever get the notifications until after. All right, what is the message for Saggies? What's the message for Saggies? Ooh. Okay. So you got what Libra got as well. So, you know, really learning to accept by really releasing your negative feelings and thoughts and emotions about other people or about yourself, because you're just creating that more of energy. Like, you know, yeah, we have to focus on the positive. We do, you know, we know the negative exists, but we have to focus on the positive, because if we don't focus on the positive, the negative is going to keep us down. Okay. So stray night. So you may be looking at the stars at night and just really like learning to be open to the energy of the universe and what the universe, you know, the messages the universe sends you as well, and learning to accept things that you cannot change, you know, and knowing that there is other forces at work, and understanding this. You could be learning to understand that not, you know, as human beings, we're not the ones that are controlling everything. You know what I mean? We have to learn to accept the things we cannot change, because, you know, we always have to remember that the Creator, the Most High, is always going to be in charge. If we believe in Him, then He will protect us and also guide us, right? And so the ego spirit of wisdom. So, you know, really looking at things from a different perspective as well, and overlooking things, right? You could be, you know, getting these messages by opening up to more to the universe and accepting the messages that you get from the universe, and accepting that whatever has been burdening you, there's nothing you could have done, you know, and you have learned a lot from it as well. And now you can oversee things. You know, this has brought you somewhere where now you can oversee things. And you're very wise about it. You know, you're very wise. Ego spirit is very, very wise, you know. That's what I got for you, Sag. All right. And you are the spiritual sign. You are the peacemaker as well. You know, you have the temperance, which is the peacemaker, and someone that knows moderation and balance, right? All right. Capricorns. All right, Cappies. Cappies are at 32, 42. 32, 42. You know, if there was more people in the chat and, you know, have like, you know, different conversations, when I'm on my computer, I can stop in between the readings and conversate with you guys for a little bit. But I am on my tablet, so my eyes aren't very good. And so if I don't answer you, it doesn't mean I'm ignoring you. It just means that I am just focused on channeling the messages and the proper messages that will help people. That's what I'm doing. And I have to learn to ignore the distractions and focus on what I'm doing, okay? And I have ADHD, so sometimes it's a little bit hard, and that's why I have to speak on it. And it's just, everybody knows what's going on here. We're doing a general reading for all the signs. Every sign gets their own reading. It will be time-stamped later on. You can watch it later on as well. If you want personal connect with me, you could also wait till I get on the computer, or you could order a reading. All right. So Capricorns are at 33:48. 33:48. So it takes a minute to explain it each time. And I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm feeling you guys. So I'm feeling like people are leaving because I'm not paying attention to you. But it's not what I'm doing. That's not purposely like that, okay? Just so y'all know. I have a lot of love for all of you, all right? And I want to see everybody happy. All right, Cappies. Let's see. Let's see it. Oh, that wanted to pop out like quick. Cappies want to know what's going on. Cappies are like, I want to know my message. All right. Let's see. Cappies, what does the Sacred Forest want to say to you, Capricorns? You know, I am a one-man army here with my channel, right? Nobody helps me do my things, all right? And I am just learning to open up to people again. All right. Foggy spirit, foggy boy patience. Okay, so when you're feeling the fog, you know, when you're feeling the fog, just be still, you know? When things are not clear to you, Capricorn, Just don't do anything until you know, until you have clarity, right? So be patient with yourself. We all have times and days when things are very uncertain for us, what we're thinking of our future, you know what I mean? We all have those days where we feel like, I don't know if I'm coming or going, you know what I mean? If you're having one of those days where you're feeling like, I don't know if I'm coming or going, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm staying or going. You know, just wait, just be patient and wait until you can take leadership. So it says, stay spirit of, and then take leadership. So stay and wait it out and then take leadership, right? So there will change will come from that, okay? So sometimes we just got to take a pause. There's a pause, right? So when you're feeling foggy, don't make any decisions, you know, and then later you will be able to take leadership because the fog will be behind you. See how on the deer, when you say, when you stay, then you start seeing clearly, you can adjust, you know, your eyes will adjust, and then all the fog is behind you, and then you'll be able to take leadership if you stay, right? That's what it's saying. All right, so there's dragonfly spirit with change. So that's the next card. So there is change coming, all right? All right, 2,000 watching. Whoop, whoop. Can you imagine all the energy I would feel if you guys were so many in here? It's pretty calm right now. All right, Aquarius. It'll get there, but I'm just, you know, coming out of my, you know, my hermit energy as well, right? I'm just coming out of my hermit and healing energy as well, and I'm learning how to deal with grief in a different way so it doesn't affect my life and put me back for so long. You know what I mean? Because we're always going to be dealing with some kind of loss in our life at one point in time or another, right? So we just have to learn how to not react to what we're feeling. All right, let's go Aquarius. 3659. I mean 37. Let's go 37. 37. Aquarius. All right, Aquarius. Message from the Sacred Forest deck for Aquarius. Message for Aquarius. Sacred Forest. So we have the air spirit, which is you, Aquarius. And then we have knowledge. You have a lot of knowledge that can take you very far. All right, that's what I'm getting right away. So Aquarius, you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom that you can take very far. And we got blue bale fairy. Gratitude. You've been, you know, you've been so grateful. You're going to be showered with like gratitude. People are going to be so grateful for you, for all your knowledge and that you're taking leadership. The air energy here, knowledge. This knowledge is going to take you places. All right, Aquarius? And you're going to be showered with beautiful blessings from spirit. Look at that, all the purple there. Like you're going to be so happy. Things are going to even, like I see this as like your land. Your land is going to be so beautiful. Like, you know, God is going to like make some magic happen on your land, make it beautiful. Gratitude, because you've been so grateful, you know, you've been following your spirit and you've been so grateful. Bluebell fairy. So that's the bluebell fairy is going to shower you with gratitude and show you how grateful they are for you, okay? Somebody here is going to be showing you how grateful they are for you, okay? Somebody very spiritual as well. And because of all the knowledge and wisdom that you may have given them. All right. So that was beautiful message for Aquarius. Wow. And Pisces. All right. Pisces is at 3908. I'll stay and talk for a few minutes. And I'll look at the chat, see what everybody's saying. And before I get out of here. Okay. So let's do Pisces first. So 3917. 3917. Maybe I'll do a collective after Pisces, alright? Oops. Alright, Pisces. What is the message from the Sacred Forest deck for Pisces? And then you know, the angel messages are always at the beginning of every reading. So, like long reading, I can't fit it in with the other messages. The short messages will just be one card from whatever deck I'm choosing. But know that I've already like done the angel messages as well. So you have butterfly spirit transformation. So you are coming out of your cocoon. And we got the owl spirit wisdom. And you've learned a lot of wisdom, Pisces, okay? You're transforming and you're becoming that beautiful butterfly. Look at that. You coming out of your cocoon. You like a pearl, you know? You're beautiful. You are grounded, you are stable, and you're wise, you know? You're stable and wise. And because you have now, gone through the transformation of becoming the cocoon first, that's going like doing soul searching. Becoming a cocoon is like when you put yourself in your cocoon, it's so you put yourself in a safe place to learn about yourself. And that's what you've been doing. And this is helping you to transform into this beautiful butterfly. And now you're ready. Now you're ready to share your wisdom, to share it with others, the knowledge that you have, how you've learned to ground yourself. That's what I'm seeing for you, Pisces, all right? Let's do a quick collective one. 4104. 4104. 4104 for the collective. All right, collective messages. What is the messages for the collective? The collective healers, tarot readers that are vibing high. Vibing with the most high. All right. Let's see. What are the messages for my collective tarot readers and spiritual light workers and healers? And all forms healers, you know what I mean? Healers in all forms. Collective healers of all forms. Body, mind, and spirit. So you could be a doctor, a nurse, a psychiatrist. You could be a therapist. You could be a psychologist. You could be like, somebody that helps people with the mind, whatever, you know what I mean? So we have wolf spirit family, okay? So you are like the wolf spirit, you know what I mean? Even when things are not, even when you're mad at each other, you still gotta love each other, right? That's what wolf spirit is. Even when it's cold, like, even when your mind is cold, like this is reminding me of a lot of coldness. And when people are not very open with their heart, they're not very warm, you know what I mean? They're not very welcoming. Even when you're like kind of mean to each other and you distance yourself from each other, you still know that you always got each other's back, even in the cold times, right? So you are really transforming like the phoenix, right? And you're coming out of that, for some of you, you may have, there may have been a fire lit under your ass, it got a little too hot, and you had to cool yourself down a little bit, right? I don't know. I'm getting a funny message here. All right, so somebody may have, had to like, be in the cold for a while, but now that you are ready, your spirit is ready, you are transforming, you're like the phoenix rising from the ashes, right? Or from the cold. You're coming out of the cold, okay? That's what I'm getting. You're coming out of the cold with something that you may have been in the cold with family. You may have been in like, distance or whatever with people that were close to you, and you're coming out of that cold and you are really transformed, like the phoenix, and you're rising now, and you made that fire, and everything is warm, it's helping you to move forward here. And we got unicorn purity. So, you're a rare person too. You're very rare. You're rare. You're like a unicorn. They're rare. Actually, that unicorns are not what you think they are. Unicorns are actually a type of a buffalo type of thing, but that has the horns. Anyways, they're not as pretty and like, as people expect them to be, but they are rare, you know what I mean? And then we got the dragon power of light, waking up Miss Sleeping Beauty over here, right? So, like, you may have been, this may have been, somebody may have been, the dragon has been waiting to wake up his queen here, that little light of hers, she wants to wake it up in her, right? So I feel like for some of you, this is finally happening here. What are you rising, what are you transform and rising out of? And also, what is this three cards talking about? Purity, family, and transformation. What is this talking about? Transformation, family, and purity. So you may be, your whole family may be going through like a real big transformation and becoming a real, pure family, you know what I mean? Where you're like the wolf pack, Maybe even howl at the moon together, you know what I mean? Me and my brother did that once, out of the random. We did that. And so reflecting pool and stillness. So reflecting on your spirit, really reflecting on, you know, your emotions, your spirit, keep your spirit in mind, but also reflect on your emotions. And I feel like you're going to be really learning something, learning to focus more. You're learning to be more focused, the wizard of the woods. So you could be someone that's really good in the woods, like you're tapping in when you're in the woods. You could be a wizard. You're creating your sanctuary in the woods for some of you. Um, Toadstool growth. So there's been, even when there's been confusion, even when you felt like nothing was happening, things were happening, right? Because of the mushrooms, whatever. Like even when you didn't think something was growing, it was growing. Okay. So we have the guardian of the land, protection. So you're learning to protect. For some of you, you're learning to focus and really protect the land, right? And so that it can be beautiful. And spirit guardian of spring and activation. So spring is your activation. Everything. For some of you, you're gonna have a grand opening in spring. You're gonna have some type of grand opening in spring. Some of you, you're gonna open something in spring. Something's gonna be a grand opening. Okay. So something that you've been working on is gonna be, you're gonna have the grand opening. You're really doing the reflection. You're really thinking about all the things that you come through, transformed, and you transform negative energy into positive energy. And you have Forest Temple. You have created your beautiful temple of faith. Wow, that is beautiful, guys. All right, let me see what y'all saying, and then we're gonna get out of here. Hello. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new so that you get notified because I'm gonna be uploading tons of messages every day. All right. And Miss Princess, I am new here. I am new. Hello. Okay, you were kind of spamming, but hello, Jay. Hello, Leonardo. I think that's your name. Or Leroy. Sorry, I always say Leonardo. Will. Where are you from? Hey, Fry. I am from my mother. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a great day. Peace out.